Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. One second, put it in. While during, okay, maybe during the interval, there are certain people talking to me, and then they said that as a part of outset, I did not introduce, or they were not introduced. Maybe I know most of the people, so there's no need of introduction. But maybe we will very briefly. Last, I'm in this field of investment for the last 30 odd years. I have been with companies, JM Financial, where I started off my career. Then I was managing the investments of Tata's from 1983 to 1993, 10 years. During this period of 10 years, my role was to look after investments. I increased the portfolio from 30 crores, which I was allotted, to 600 crores in a period of 10 years. As a reward for that performance, I was appointed as a director of Tata's at a very young age, being a non-party. 1993-94, I decided, when the National Stock Exchange was being set up, I decided to move out from Tata as an investment manager director and get into stockbroking. In 1994, I started my company, Altina Securities Private Limited, which is into wealth management, stockbroking, and research. And from there onwards, I'm in this field. For the last 30 odd years, I've been in this investment field. Yes. And now we get back to main focus. Okay, we talked about marketing. Marketing is very simple. All of you know. Okay, so we go next slide. Yes, product profile. Yes, what you can.
Product profile. The product profile of a company is also very relevant when evaluating the prospects of a company. Companies that manufacture quality products at low cost are given higher valuations. From almost bankrupt, Astral Polytechnic has become India's largest plumbing and drainage pipe manufacturer. Mandate offers something that is beneficial to the masses and yet affordable than existing products. Focus on superior products and innovation.
So it is a product profile. You look at companies like, this is a company which almost was bankrupt. It's an enterprise-based company which also has won a Business Standard Award for the best S&P performer. And there are many companies which start from scratch, or there are companies which come out with new products. So product has to be, always a product has to be superior at low cost. So you identify such companies which have a superior product, low cost and constant innovation. Those companies can give you enormous returns. Capacity utilization is an important factor in determining the scope of a future growth of a company. Now, company, this is very vague, but just to make you understand, company ABC has a capacity of 1 lakh units and is producing 25,000 units. Capacity utilization will be 25%. Company XYZ has a capacity of 1 lakh units and is currently producing 75,000 units, 75%. Now, this is just to bring a distinction that both companies have a capacity of 1 lakh. Company A is using 25%, all other parameters remain equal. Company A has 25,000 units and company XYZ uses a production of 75,000 units. Now, between both these companies, if you were to look at which company do you think has hope for growth and which has limited growth? Company ABC. Why? Because still 35% capacity to be. This is not taking into consideration demand supply. This is just to that company ABC can grow. It can triple 3 times, whereas it can triple 25% and then get 75% capacity. So this is how you look at it. No, other things be equal. I'm just underperforming. It may have started late also. we have started it, obviously started this. See what we look at now, at a current capacity, it can go up to 1 lakh, assuming there's demand for both. But other company has got a capacity of 1 lakh up to 25,000. So now a company may go to 2 lakhs, but it will take time for it to put up a plant. If it puts up a plant of 1 more lakh, it will 2 lakhs. But in the meanwhile, this company has already capacity. So it can be faster from that point of view. Company with a high market company with high market share are favored and receive better valuation, but the reverse can also be true depending on the market situation. In a market that is growing rapidly, a high market share is positive factor, but in a market that is saturated, a high market share could be a negative as the scope for growth could be limited with the company having a high market share. Or it's not a market share, it's a company is high market share, it's always good company, but then if it's into an industry where growth is limited, then it could be a negative. Location, yes, you can read out this out.
Location, close to source of raw materials. Location to source of raw materials is a plus point for those companies where raw material is in bulk and the cost of transportation is very high. Closer to the source of raw materials result in huge cost savings like the plant of Gujarat Ambuja Cement, which is located close to the source of raw materials. Close to markets we could also turn out to be a positive for certain types of companies.
This is not available to all companies, a few selected companies. Collaboration. See, there are several Indian companies who have collaborated. Collaboration brings in technology, it brings finance, it brings in a lot of management bandwidth. And it also is a very, very classic example. Many years back, Saroj Kumar Poddar, Calcutta-based, he set up this company known as Indian Shaving Products at that point of time. And Gillette, which was a foreign collaborator, owned 24%, and the rest was owned by Saroj Kumar Poddar and the Indian public. The company was Indian Shaving Products, named as Indian Shaving Products. And at that time, there was competition from the Malhotras who brought in didn't allow any competition to survive. But over a period of time, Mr. Poddar realized that Gillette is a very big name in the, so therefore he should give more and more control to Gillette. So more and more control was given to Gillette, and till recently, even now, Gillette owned 75% in the company, and the name was changed from Indian Shaving. The name was changed from Indian Shaving Products to Gillette. Now this company shares were quoting at around 13 rupees some years back, and as Gillette took over, the company has grown. And I remember this company very well because even in this company I made my investments when the share was around 13 odd rupees some years back. And over the years, the company has grown to such an extent that the price of the share today is around 2,200 rupees from 30. And this is just the beginning, a lot of potential more. It should definitely go up. Because as I told you earlier that it is growing in even Gillette worldwide. Now Gillette has been taken over by Procter & Gamble, the parent company is Procter & Gamble. And worldwide also, today, Gillette has killed most of the competition. And in India, it is a near monopoly. And its products, as I said, are need-based, daily use, no competition, no regulation. There is no government intervention. Government may intervene with other industries, but not here. So it's not a regulated industry. It is a need-based, and it is one which is required, compulsory required. And as the population, male population grows, much more better for Gillette. Business cycles we are already covered, so see, there are two ways of a company growing. One is organic growth, one is inorganic growth. Let us say we are talking just now, I think, question Sujata only asked me about it, that, okay, about the company which has got better demand, 25% capacity utilization. Now let us say we come to a company XYZ. it has got 75% capacity utilization. So if it has to start a new plant, it may take 2 years for revenues and profits to generate. Instead, what a company is there, XYZ, can buy company ABC and then have additional capital. So what you do, organic buyout versus there. So this is growth. You can buy growth. Many companies are there buy growth. Now in the case of Tata Motors, okay, this is the capacity. JLR was bought, so they bought the growth. They bought growth. So the turnover and profits increases. Tata Steel, Chorus, Hindalco, Novelis. There are many companies which take over. When you take over, you buy growth. So when you look at companies which take over, but takeover is also you must look at whether integration takes place. Sometimes takeover is into disaster. You may buy at a high price, or you may buy something which you got to integrate. Now sometimes it takes years to integrate. The cultures are different. Like Crompton Greaves bought out plants in Belgium, Europe. Now those companies were making huge losses. Now I have one of my client and close friend also who was overlooking the takeover. Now it can happen also with Tata Chorus. But when Crompton bought out this European operation, there was a cultural mismatch, because in India, what is the culture here? That if your office timing is 9 to 5, most people start work at 3 o'clock and remain till 10 o'clock to show the bosses that they are working. This is
Overtime.
something all that show the bosses that are working. So you start your work, instead of you start your work at 10, you can quit at 5. But it's a culture here. You start at 3, remain till 10, and the boss feels others are gone and few are remaining, so they are hard working, the others are less working. This is a culture. But elsewhere, it doesn't happen. Elsewhere, it's time. I had gone to a particular bank in UK. The timing was just 5 minutes left from 5. And when I entered the bank was full. Within 5 minutes, it was empty. All like a 5 o'clock sharp. That's the culture there. So when Crompton Greaves took over this unit, they expected the same culture, that people will work till 7, 8, 9, which never happens there. So there was a cultural mismatch. There were a lot of things had to be there. So had to work 5 o'clock sharp. And work schedule and work profile, etc. is different there. So the operations there were a cultural mismatch. And now, even when it came to Chorus, and Mr. Ratan Tata has gone on record saying that staff doesn't work beyond their fixed time. So elsewhere it is. So when you are looking at mergers, when you're looking at acquisitions, you also look at a culture mismatch. I mean, Crompton, what brought down Crompton is, apart from Indian operations, but the European operations result in losses. So this is because of some type of integration not taking place. So it could be a positive, it could be a negative. Nothing to say about this. Brands have got value. Companies with brands don't, they keep on giving you. They are not only 3 are listed in India, only 3 last 3 are listed. But there are a lot of brands which worldwide, etc. So brands are something which ensure the longevity and performance of the company. And some of the brands, between brands and commodities. What is a commodity and a brand? A commodity has no value. A brand has value. Say let us say, if I manufacture a biscuit and sell it, nobody will buy it. Even if I give it at half the price of Britannia. But if Britannia sells a biscuit, there is demand for it because it has got a brand. So brand is that. So if Britannia manufactures a biscuit, 2 rupees per biscuit, it can sell it for 4 rupees. If I manufacture a biscuit at 2 rupees, I can sell it for 1 rupee. This brand is something which has value. And brand creates that you get a pricing power. So if your cost of raw materials go up, you can pass it on to the consumer and maintain your profitability or your margins. If the cost moves up in a company which is a commodity, let us say what distinguishes if cement prices are 50 rupees, 60 rupees, 70 rupees a bag. It's a commodity. Though some of the companies like Gujarat Ambuja, Ultratech, they try to brand it. But per se it's a commodity. Cement prices everywhere, maybe iron ore prices, steel prices, they go brand. Brand gives you the pricing power. So which means if a cement company which is now fuel intensive, fuel prices go up, most of it you have to bear it unless it's backed by good demand. But in a normal market, commodities price, you don't have a pricing power, but brands, you have the pricing power. Nestle can raise the price of Milk Maid, can raise the price of Maggi noodles, can raise, or Procter & Gamble can raise the price of Vicks, etc. because they have brand and pricing power. So commodities, if it's just a commodity, if it's just as I said, cement, iron ore, steel, or even if we talk a brand, it's a commodity. Commodity doesn't have pricing power, brands have pricing power, and you build up brands, and with brands is such that at a point of time, you can, longevity of the product is assured, and apart from that, if your cost of raw materials go up, you can pass it on to the consumer. Today, what will distinguish companies? Today, is innovation. Innovation, if a company is innovative in reducing cost or improving product or a new product, that is what distinguishes a company in terms of growth. There are a lot of wireless technology. Today it has changed lives. This innovation, it has changed life. Today, somebody is in the States. I don't have to travel, so my time and cost is saved. Video conferencing, the technology. How much of time and cost is saved? Today, there are a lot of individuals whose relatives are abroad, Skype, you speak on the spot. So wherever you are, so you can speak to the person. So you save, that is the technology, you save on cost and time. Or else you have to fly to the US to meet a person, where we have conferences. Here you can, in a minute, one, and at a less cost. Mobile handsets is a new technology. It's such a technology that you can today encompass applications are so much. It can be used as you use it for as a camera, use it for your stock prices, any type of applications. Earlier, and the growth, since one of the growth of the telephone in the telecom industry. Many years back, if you applied for a telephone, you had to wait a lifetime to get a telephone. And most of the time when you got it, didn't work. And if it worked, you had to pay the lifespan to get it once again restored. And some of the examples I got, when I talk to people, a lady told me that when my husband went to work, I never knew till he came back. Because there was no telephones at that point of time. Today, I know wherever he is, I can capture him. This is a fact of life. Another person told me that when I was in my heyday, when I was young, I couldn't at all speak to my girlfriend because whenever I called up her house, I wanted to come up. Today she has a home. Today my son can call up his girlfriend because she has her own mobile, no mother intervention. So that is how technology has changed, and that is how we progress. So these are all innovative products. Shale gas, another discovery. Then internet. Today communication is so easy. Okay. In a minute you can communicate with somebody anywhere in the world. In a minute. That's the point. Internet, the information that you get is phenomenal. But also it has a disadvantages to some extent because we conduct an annual essay competition on particular subject. Everybody does very well because copy and paste. Which was not done earlier. So I find such enormously good articles that when I see the person, it doesn't reflect. So these are the innovation which help. So when you look at companies which are innovative, are companies which can bring in a lot of revenue in terms of growth. Even when you see the IT industry, every time, computers, first it was, computers were so large. And when you keep on saying, and new applications are coming in, and so today I buy a computer in a year it gets obsolete. So there's it. And then mobile phones. You have